it's always a good day to talk some round ball on the Lakers Report. So thanks for making the Lakers Report a part of your day. However you're accessing today's show, we appreciate you tuning in. And what's on the docket? Well, we've got a major update on Bronny James, and specifically the draft stock of Bronny James, and that coming from 24/7 Sports. Lots to dive into here, some juicy nuggets, but first, before we go any further, how about you prove you are the biggest Lakers fan watching by liking today's video? And that's right, we keep receipts. We know who likes the videos and who doesn't, and believe it or not, liking the video is the best way to prove your authenticity to Lakers Nation and the purple and gold. So like today's video before we go any further. That's right, we're not going any further until you like that video. It doesn't cost you a thing. It takes 2 seconds. And now that everybody's liked the video, we can get into it. Bronny James, that's right, Southern California's finest, USC's finest, the freshman point guard at the University of Southern California in the midst of his freshman season. But recall all the way back in July when Bronny James suffered that cardiac arrest episode. And I think before we dive into the basketball topic around Bronny James, I think it's worth mentioning that the fact that he's out there playing, he's made a full recovery, really is a testament to his resilience and a salute to him for being able to overcome such a difficult situation back in July. Now, as for the play on the court, well, he hasn't really stuffed the stat sheet yet and hasn't really developed, especially on the offensive side, the way several experts had hoped. But given the big shoes surrounding the last name and the big shoes to fill, Bronny James, expectations obviously sky high. But when you think about what he can provide at the next level as an NBA player, certainly the stats at USC are not indicative of that of a first-round pick. Now, a little bit more from Adel Finkelstein on Bronny James. He's the one that wrote this article for 24/7 Sports. And sometimes the truth can be blunt and it can be a little bit right coming at you and a little bit difficult, but here we go. He's still not the creator that some assumed he'd be based solely on his name. The fact that his three-point shooting has yet to translate to the college level has been the biggest offensive surprise. Finkelstein went on to say he's a good athlete with a compact and powerful body, but he's probably not the 6'4" that USC lists him as. For a guard who plays primarily off the ball to this point, that makes him undersized by NBA standards. Now, again, I think it is worth noting that anytime you're the greatest and arguably the greatest NBA player's son, there's going to be a lot of conversation around every single thing you do on the basketball court. You're under the microscope, right, wrong, or indifferent. You're held to a legendary status. But it is worth noting that his NBA projections, with LeBron still playing as a member of the Los Angeles Lakers this year and a player option leading into the offseason next year, that Bronny's draft projections depends on the extent to which his father ties the end of his career to Bronny's location, meaning Bronny's going to get drafted because teams think it'll be a way to bring LeBron to their respected franchise. And right, wrong, or indifferent, that's the fact of the matter. It's reality, and that's where we live here on the Lakers Report. So I want you to be honest with me. Do you think Bronny will get drafted? Because I certainly think he will be drafted in the first round, and we'll talk more about specifically where. But right away, I want to get the pulse and get the feeling on whether or not you think LeBron James' son, Bronny, will in fact get drafted to the NBA. Let me know down in the comments. Type Y for yes if you think he'll get drafted. Type N for no. Now, what does LeBron James, King James himself, have to say? And this is obviously what spearheads the conversation anytime LeBron speaks. He says, this is from actually back in 2022, an article from The Athletic. My last year will be played with my son. Wherever Bronny is at, that's where I'll be. I would do whatever it takes to play with my son for 1 year. It's not about the money at that point. So I think that makes it pretty clear. And even though it's back from 2022, the fact of the matter is now it's in that realistic standpoint, that realistic stage of coming true. And the foreshadowing from back in 2022 is now coming into fruition after Bronny finishes his first year at USC. Now, we're going to continue to dive into what exactly this might look like and how it relates to the Los Angeles Lakers. But first, I want to give a huge shout out to today's presenting sponsor, Prize Picks. And folks, listen up. Football season may be over, but the action on the floor is heating up. Whether it's tournament season or the fight for playoff home court, there's no shortage of high-stakes basketball moments this time of year. So get in on the excitement with Prize Picks, America's #1 fantasy sports app, where you can turn your hoops knowledge into some serious cash. Who doesn't want to do that? I know I sure do. Conference tournaments are here, which means the biggest moments in college basketball are getting closer and closer. We want you to be a part of the action on Prize Picks for both men's and women's college basketball. And with tonight, I'm rolling with some NBA picks. You can join me, you can fade me, but I think these picks are going to make some money later tonight. I'm feeling De'Aaron Fox for the Sacramento Kings. Look at that demon icon, so it's going to pay out a little bit more, 29.5. No problem, I'm feeling a 30 burger from De'Aaron Fox. And while we're on it, life's too short to pick less, so I'm picking more. Jaime Jaquez Jr. from the Heat. What a rookie standout season he's having. Give me the more on his 15.5. And last but certainly not least, the D3 legend, Duncan Robinson. I'm taking the more on his total as well. 17 points. So maybe give me 6 threes, Duncan, and we are set. That's how it works. Find out for yourself what makes Prize Picks the most exciting and easiest way to play daily fantasy sports. Download the app today and use code CLNS for a first deposit match up to $100. And just in case you tune me out, I got a one for you one more time. Download the app today and use code CLNS for a first deposit match up to $100. And you know we love you and we care about you here on the Lakers Report. That's why we're putting the link and the comments right in today's video and the description as well. Download the app today and use code CLNS for a first deposit match up to $100. Pick more, pick less. It's that easy. Now, with that said, LeBron James believes in Bronny, as he should, as the father and role model for Bronny, but also, obviously, LeBron knows ball, and he's not going to say something that's not true. So if he believes Bronny can play in the NBA, that's enough for me. And this article, and LeBron has been a constant in backing Bronny, saying he could play for us right now. Easy. And LeBron James said that not long ago in the Lakers locker room. So you get the idea that LeBron James believes his son can play at the next level, at the highest level in the world as an NBA basketball player, despite averaging less than 6 points a game and shooting the ball below 28% from three-point line as an off-ball guard. So even though the numbers don't necessarily add up, I will tell you this: if LeBron James believes something as it relates to a player's ability to perform at the highest level, I'm not going to argue with that. And I think there's also something with the DNA. Don't bet against the LeBron James flesh, the LeBron James DNA. That Bronny is a part of LeBron, who obviously has been a constant in the National Basketball Association, all-time leading scorer in the NBA, 20 all-star selections. The list goes on. I'm not going to name them all. But point being, if LeBron's in on Bronny, then I'm in on Bronny. It's as simple as that. But I need to know from you, so let me know down in the comments what you think about this one. Is Bronny an NBA caliber player or a G League caliber player? Let me know what you think. Type NBA for NBA or G if you think he'll end up in the G League. Either way, let your voice be heard here on the Lakers Report. Now, we've talked about this and Bronny James, of course, being drafted as a way to keep LeBron in Los Angeles, which makes a lot of sense given the fact that LeBron has been very transparent about his desire to play with Bronny James. And with LeBron's contract situation, we know that he has that player option he can exercise this summer and become an unrestricted free agent. Now, the draft happens, you get Bronny in LA, we can all relax and believe that LeBron will finish his career in LA to be able to play with his son Bronny. Now, it might not be just that simple as Adam Finkelstein breaks it down a little bit more, but all signs certainly tend to point that direction. LeBron wants to remain a Laker, and Klutch would communicate that to anyone who inquired. Furthermore, LeBron wants Bronny with him. As a result, you can bet that Klutch would discourage any other team from drafting the younger James because of Bron's desires. So, it all boils down to this. Bronny James will be a member of the Los Angeles Lakers next year, in my opinion. This isn't based on his play at USC. Instead, it's a byproduct of his father's stardom and his correlated influence. And last but certainly not least, to sweeten the pot for LA, LeBron will likely sign a multi-year deal instead of a one-year contract. So there you have it. And again, I'm of the same belief that if Bronny ends up in LA, LeBron's in LA to stay. So I'm all for it because let's play the long game here. Let's take a look at this from a bigger high-level picture that drafting Bronny, even though he might not be that valued of a pick in the first round. If we were doing one of those grades, maybe it might be like a D, C minus type of grade, but if it keeps LeBron in LA, then hey, I'm all for it. But put your prediction hat on for me as we close it out here. Where will Bronny play next year? Because there's also the option that he goes back to school, plays another year at USC. But let me know if you think he'll be a Laker. Go ahead and type LAL. If you think he'll remain in college, type USC. Or somewhere else, type O for other. But as we heard, Klutch Sports will likely discourage teams from drafting Bronny. But they can discourage all they want. If a player identifies Bronny as the guy they want, there's no rule that could stop them from drafting him. Either way, let me know what you think down in the comments. It's certainly an interesting discussion, and my take's simple. Bronny's going to be a Laker, and that will keep LeBron in LA for, we'll say, the foreseeable future, and in my hopes, his entire career. But again, we'll say, or the rest of his career, I should say, but we'll say the foreseeable future. Either way, let me know what you think down in the comments. I want to thank everybody for tuning in to this edition of the Lakers Report. As always, it is an honor and a privilege to talk Lakers basketball with each and every one of you. So thanks for tuning in, and it would mean the world to me if you could help us reach our next goal of 53,000 subscribers. We are 455 away. Help us get there. I believe in the Lakers Nation. So if you're already subscribed, tell a friend that might not be subscribed, and let's get that number up to 53,000. Shout out to Jack Lauder and the ones and twos helping us bring you the Lakers Report. And as always, thanks so much for tuning in. And we'll see you next time on the Lakers Report.